Hello, I'm Jonasz Rewiński and this is Military Mind. Armed conflicts, defense and security, land, sea and air. We've got you covered. Overnight into Friday, Russian forces continued striking Ukrainian infrastructure and killing civilians. Ukraine's Air Force reported that more than 130 drones were launched against the country. In Dnipro, a city shelled by Moscow almost daily, a 12-year-old boy was killed and 4 others wounded, according to Ukraine's state emergency service. Residential buildings were destroyed in the attack. Authorities also reported that 19 people were wounded across Kherson, Donetsk and Sumy regions over the past day due to Russian strikes. Ukraine's Ministry of Energy said that attacks on the country's energy infrastructure caused power outages in 4 regions. Across the border, Ukrainian drones struck Russia's Krasnodar region, damaging the Temryuk seaport. Regional officials confirmed that elements of the port infrastructure were hit and a fire broke out. The independent Russian outlet Astra, citing local residents, reported that fuel storage tanks were burning after the strike. In Syzran, local media said another drone attack targeted an oil refinery. Meanwhile, images circulated online show damage to a high-rise building in the Grozny city complex in Chechnya's capital, located roughly 800 meters from Ramzan Kadyrov's residence near the regional FSB headquarters. Opposition channel NYISO claimed that a drone flew into the building. Monitoring groups suggested that electronic warfare systems may have been activated during the incident. Now, turning to the front line, in Vovchansk, there are no longer districts under stable Ukrainian control. The Ukrainian open-source intelligence project Deep State reports further Russian advances east of the city. According to their map, most of Vovchansk is either under Russian control or lies within a contested gray zone. South of there, on the Liman axis, Russian troops are advancing near Yampil, pushing toward the road leading to Siversk. On the southern Donetsk front, Ukrainian forces say they cleared Dobropilya, which Russia's Ministry of Defense claimed to have captured. Ukraine's general staff denies Russia's version. According to Ukrainian officials, a small Russian sabotage reconnaissance group infiltrated the outskirts of the settlement during poor weather, but was quickly eliminated. Dobropilya remains under Ukrainian control. Analysts note that during the past months of intensified Russian offensives, Moscow has increasingly used psychological warfare and intimidation tactics, spreading false claims, including repeated statements that Russian forces fully control Dobropilya near Huliapole. In reality, Ukrainian defenders maintain control and enemy infiltrations are being neutralized. And now we open with a clip showing a Ukrainian soldier demonstrating in detail the process of installing a German DM-22 anti-tank mine, a modern device designed to destroy armored vehicles at a distance. The footage captures the soldier's work from the moment he opens the sealed container to the moment the mine is fully ready for combat use. The DM-22 is highly regarded on the front lines due to its ability to be installed in concealed positions and its capacity to engage targets at distances of up to several dozen meters. Of course, in simple terms, how it works is that once an enemy vehicle is detected, a projectile is fired automatically, usually striking the side of the vehicle, taking advantage of potentially weaker armor there. Now, we're going to move on to our next story. While attempting to launch a Molnia-2 strike UAV from a window of a building, a Russian drone operator decided to attach an anti-tank mine to the drone as an improvised warhead. Now, footage shows how the device, overloaded and equipped with explosive device that is not correctly secured, does not even have time to stabilize after takeoff. The drone suddenly falls away to one side and explodes in a fraction of a second. In fact, the blast wave is strong enough to affect the operator. It almost blows him away. The survival of the operator is more of a strange coincidence, in fact, than any sort of pattern. An explosion of such power in a closed room usually leaves no chance of survival.
Давай, готово. Летите.
On December the 4th, 2025, a successful operation was carried out by the Ukrainian military intelligence reconnaissance unit Primorie at the Kacha military airfield in Crimea. Using a drone, the recon troops struck a Russian MiG-29 multi-role fighter jet parked at the airfield. At the same time, the Irtysh airfield radar complex, located near temporarily occupied Simferopol, was also hit. This is another blow to the airspace surveillance and control systems in the area, demonstrating the ability of Ukrainian Special Operations Forces to quickly neutralize key Russian military assets. Of course, Russian aircraft being eliminated on the ground is nothing new. You might remember the most classic and impressive operation of all, namely Operation Spiderweb, in which Ukrainians have managed to infiltrate deep into Russia, launch drones from Russian territory against air bases where strategic bombers were parked, and of course destruction on a massive scale ensued. Now, on the front line, where seconds decide everything, a comms officer from the 12th Azov Special Forces Brigade of the National Guard of Ukraine demonstrated the skill on which the lives of his comrades depend. Noticing the approach of a Russian FPV drone, he opened fire with a UAR-15 rifle and shot down the enemy target with his first shot. FPV drones are characterized by high speed and maneuverability, and hitting them with small arms is no easy task. This makes the work of the Azov soldier who coolly dealt with the threat and ensured the safety of the group all the more impressive. And with this, we conclude this edition of Military Mind. Stay with us here on TVP World for more latest news and updates.